G'day, Banjo from Jungle Masters. Well, first of all, I'd like to apologise to my subscribers for my absence of a few months. That was due to injury. I had a bad fall onto some concrete, not in the jungle, and broke my little finger and damaged my elbow. In fact, you can see I'm now wearing an elbow guard just because it's still a bit touchy. My little finger, they had to put some wires through to the bone, so there was wire sticking out of the skin that went into the bone. It's an infection issue. I was banned from going into the bush while those wires were in place. In fact, I wasn't even allowed to raise a sweat for fear of spreading infection through those holes through to the bone. So I basically had to sit on the couch for 6 weeks, which has taken its toll. So I'm back out in the scrub now. Beautiful, lovely day, very overcast as you can see. I'm near the coast. You may be able to make out the murmur of the surf in the background. What to other people would be pretty lousy weather, I'm thoroughly enjoying today because it's been, mid-30s, very high humidity. Today we've got a lovely wet day. You can see I'm soaked through. It's keeping me a lot cooler. And that's one of the things I wanted to talk about with you today. I wanted to discuss the shirt. So what I'll do is I'll actually take off a few items of clothing, not the shirt. So you can see this is a what they call a frog shirt. There's a number of generations and different styles of frog shirt. In the more commonly used frog shirts, I think they're up to Gen 3 now. Those of you that play airsoft will be familiar with those. They have built-in pouches for elbow and knee guards, pockets everywhere, a lot of Velcro instead of ties, zips instead of buttons, not my favourite. This shirt is out of that loop of those generations. This is a completely different shirt. It's quite a technical shirt, and I use it in the jungle because it's absolutely ideal for the jungle. First of all, it's got a very high cotton count. So the cotton count's 90% plus, depending upon where on the shirt you're talking about. The rest of it, either 4 or 6% is spandex, which makes it stretch. You want it stretched because you wear it skin tight. Why do you wear it skin tight? 2 reasons. It doesn't chafe. So like gym clothing, you're wearing it close to your skin so that it doesn't build up bunches and start irritating your skin, especially when you're moving, quite strenuously through areas like this. You'll see it's pretty steep where I've decided to pull up today, and it's actually the middle of the day. If I check my watch, 17 minutes past 1, so it's quite literally the middle of the day, so you can see it's quite dark as well. It stays close to your skin so that you're not getting any bunching up to speak of, any chafing. Makes it a lot more comfortable. But there's a second reason you wear it close to your skin, and that is because it's very high cotton. Yes, it breathes, but it also absorbs moisture. So whether it's rain or perspiration, this sits like a wet skin against your body and keeps you so much cooler. So as you know, I travel around covered from head to toe. I need a means to keep cool despite the fact that I'm covered head to toe, because as I said, it can be 35 degrees, 85%, 90% humidity. You're going to get heat stroke if you walk around for half an hour covered up in wool jumpers. I'm not covered up in wool jumpers. I'm very selective about the clothing I wear, and this shirt plays a huge part in keeping me cool. But it also offers protection. It's not a woven fabric. It's what they call a knitted fabric, which is to say it's constructed in such a way that it's not just the warp and weft, the one thread crossway to the other thread. It's actually knitted a bit more like a woolen jumper. On a very small scale, obviously. So if it gets grabbed by weight a while, and I'd love to be able to put my finger on an example, at the worst, you get a pulled thread. It doesn't tear like your more traditional woven cloths. So it's able to stand up to the rigours of moving through the likes of weight a while, and we've got some pretty scrubby looking stuff over there. I'm not going to go that way, but I have got through that sort of stuff to get here. In fact, there's some wait a while I went through just to get here, hanging down beside that tree there. I came up from that little creek bed. Being woven, it will stand up to the rigours. There's a few other things. You see it's got a very high neck. That high neck allows me to then wear a snood over the top of my head. It then seals the sides of my head. I put a boonie on top. The only bit that's exposed is my face. So with this high collar, the snood can come down at the back all the way down to my collar and seal there, even though I've also got it reaching up to the top of my head so that it's under my boonie and sealing the sides and back of my head. It's got a very short zip, but nothing else on the torso. Those of you that have seen me travel with my gear on before will be familiar with the rig that I wear. I've got it pared right down today because I'm only doing a day walk, so it's got little more than my first aid kit, poncho and a water bottle on there today. But as some of you will know, all I do is just, because it's all molly, I just add extra modules. If I'm going out overnight, I still wear the same rig. Because that rig's on my torso, it's pointless having pockets there because you can't use the pockets anyway because they're under your rig. I think that's about all there is to say about it, except that I really like it. Oh, that's the other thing too. Yeah, it's got the cuffs, which you can't see now because I've got these snoods on my wrist. If I pull that back maybe, oh, struth, all right, pull that one back as well. Okay, so sorry about that folks. So you can see there, it has a Velcro strap which allows you to tighten around the wrist. That will seal your wrists reasonably well, especially if you put it over your glove. I've found I've had some leeches getting in through that gap, so even though that's a pretty good gap, you can see when you're moving, you know, quite strenuously through the scrub, flexing and bending and things are grabbing your shirt and that sort of thing. A gap can open up there and the leeches only need the smallest gap. They will find it. So as you can see, I've left the other arm intact. I've got that snood wrapped around there. It's just double wrapped. It's actually come loose. I'm also experimenting with this watch I've got on. If I pull the snood back, hang on, now it's playing silly buggers. No, well look, there's the watch. It's actually set on the pedometer at the moment for whatever reason. So I've been a little neglectful of making sure that seal is good. That's how it should be, like that. So you can see there's a good seal between my wrist, between the glove and the sleeve of my shirt. I'm trying to orchestrate it so that in the gap between the two halves of the snood, which is doubled over, I'm able to read my watch. Having some success with that, still working on it, but I'll keep that. Those of you that are interested in my gear, you'll find the shirt on my website. You won't find the watch on the website yet. As I advertise, everything gets tested before it goes on the website. The watch is one of the things that's to come. Anyway, I won't bore you any longer. I'm going to get going before the rain starts again. There's a bit of a breeze coming through now, which would indicate there's probably a shower behind it, so I might get going. And yeah, keep slogging through the bush and loving it. Catch you next time. Bye.